It's a Porsche, but it's not for racing, it's an SUV and I'm abusing it for racing right here, right now. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to a new chapter of It's a Mod world. I've been cajoled by the team to do something different, they said. So I went and did something different. I got an SUV for racing. Well, no, I got an SUV mode and I'm gonna abuse it for racing. I went and got a Porsche SUV because if you're racing, it's gotta be a Porsche and yeah, my logic is not completely there, but I just wanted to do something different. Follow me and see what comes out of this. And as a bonus, you'll know how I dinged my front. The Porsche Cayenne being an SUV, I wanted to test it at Laguna Seca because I want to see it flying through the corkscrew. Yeah, that's the way I am. Okay, this looks quite good. Automatic transmission. Well, semi-automatic. Air conditioned. That's very important when you're racing. Quite detailed. Quite detailed. So, off-road, yeah? Have you ever seen a normal SUV driver drive it off-road? Really? Really? Come on, let's get real. Hey, you can make a call while you're racing. Hi, honey. I'm gonna be late for dinner because I think I'm gonna win this race and then we're gonna party, so don't wait up. All jokes aside, I like how the interior looks. I like the amount of detail that this mod has. It's great. You really feel like being inside of this SUV. Whoa, this car is so big that it occupies all of my VR space, which is all of my office, and believe me, it's not small, but it's an SUV. And it's being simulated in VR, so yeah, I suppose it takes up all the place. If I try to check the motor in front, I'm gonna hit my head against my desk. I'd better not do it, right? It's interesting, while I hear some ambient noises like the wind, I don't hear anything from the suspension and of course not from the gear change. Well, at least there's some screeching of the tires, even if there is no brake noise. On the other hand, how many street legal cars do you have where the brakes do really make a noise? There is some sound from the suspension, but for that you have to be driving over sausage or something radical like that. And no sound from the brakes. On the other hand, when you're driving a normal street car, you don't hear the brakes, do you? The feeling of driving an SUV is there, also on the force feedback. I should drive this vehicle more like if I'm driving a truck, a small one at that. And not that much as if I'm driving a car, because it's sluggish. Ah, interesting. Now that I went on the brakes, I felt that in the force feedback. This is not a very talkative force feedback, but still, it's better than nothing and better than others. While I don't feel the track through the force feedback, I still can feel the physics, the G's that are working on this car, and I can feel in the force feedback how an SUV would feel that is pushed to its limits. I should try not to drive it like a race car. It being an SUV, it doesn't have a very good center of gravity. See? Oi, oi, oi. Once you get accustomed to the sluggishness of this beast and start driving it like a truck, a mini truck at that, it drives quite well for a truck. What a difference to the Porsche 906, the classic prototype that I tested a couple of weeks ago. Look at that, I survived that one. Porsche Dorifto ad Laguna Seca. This curve is always difficult at Laguna Seca, but with this car even more. The weight transfer of an SUV, the weight transfer of this SUV is very well simulated in this mod. Oh man, I forgot to turn on the nav console. How am I supposed to know where to drive without the nav console? Ah. Please drive left on the corkscrew, then right. Please drive left. Careful, sharp left ahead. Careful, double apex corner, where you screw up all the time, Serta. Man, these navs are getting more cheeky every day. I think I'll turn it off. Yeah, I was saying about the corkscrew. I've put some SUVs together. The Porsche Macan, the Maserati Levante, and of course, this Porsche Cayenne. With regards to the mod, this really feels like an SUV. Very nicely done. With regards to the SUV, this really does not feel like a racing car. Not at all, not even a racing truck. And it's surprisingly fun to drive around Laguna Seca with this Porsche Cayenne SUV. Much more fun than I had expected, even in the race. And it's much easier to keep on track than I had expected too. I'm not flying even half as much out as I thought I would. I like the look of this mod. It's exceedingly well done. The mod makers have taken great care and I suppose a lot of time to get many details right, looking right, feeling right. From the outside, and most especially when you're sitting inside, this feels like an SUV, and if you're using VR like I do, you really are completely immersed in the fantasy of sitting in a Porsche Cayenne. So for the look, I give it 5 eyes out of 5. I like the sound design. Considering that it's a street car, I don't expect the thousands of small noises that a racing car would do. Street cars are made to be pleasurable. Companies care about the sound design, and I suppose people would get enormously nervous if every nut and bolt would be making its own noise. As you can imagine, I'm giving it 5 ears out of 5 for the sound. As for the driving feeling, you can feel all the forces working on this SUV through the forced feedback. I was surprised how much fun it is to race with these beasts, this mini truck. This car really feels like an SUV, and the driving feeling adds to the immersion that the sound design and the good looks already were helping. So for the driving feeling, surprise, I'm giving it 5 wheels out of 5. This is an excellent mod. It's not my favorite car because I don't like SUVs, but with regards to the mod, is very well done, very detailed. The mod makers have shown a lot of love for detail in everything that they've done here, so really I cannot praise it high enough. And maybe you want to have fun racing against friends with this SUV through, I don't know, Laguna Seca was fun. Maybe you try Zolder. Maybe you try Brno with all its 90 degrees curves. Whatever you do, if you choose this mod, you're going to have fun because it's exceedingly well done. That would be all for today. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. If you liked it, applaud by leaving a like. If you didn't, please leave a comment and tell us why so that we can get better next time. If you think somebody else might be interested, we'd be very thankful if you would share it. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos, subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell. And until the next time, safe fuel, take pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.
Visit romrom.net to connect to fellow sim racers and sim racing fans.